The following is a pre-recorded show. Welcome to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers, certified financial planner professional and founder of Akers Financial Group. Now, helping you win in your retirement, here's Brian Akers.
Hello, I'm Brian Akers. Today I have with me certified financial planner practitioner Alex Monk. Good morning, Alex Monk.
Good morning, Brian Akers. I heard a rumor that you're a CFP yourself.
Yeah, I've been one since 1991. What was the process for you to become a certified financial planner, Alex?
That getting your CFP is a long process. You got to start with 7 different college classes, ends with a case study, and then you go through an ethics review, and then you have to have 5 years work experience, bachelor's degree, I don't know, a whole bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, well, it takes a while, and that's what makes it more important. Then you have a lot of continuing education classes every year. Now, we are certified financial planner practitioners right here in Maryland. But what means so much to everyone is that we're actually registered financial advisors that's an RIA, registered investment advisory firm. We're also stockbrokers. We have our license that way, and we have our insurance license. So we have 8 licenses in many, many ways to offer advice to our clients. When we're seeking clients and working with them, one of the ideas is we want to be their financial advisor. That truly is the role that we want to serve. Today's show is exactly that, and that is this. Are you retirement ready? A financial advisor reviewing everything you have and guiding you into this retirement lifestyle is extremely important. So today's show, we're going to talk about, are you retirement ready? Has this been a big topic in your practice, Alex?
I refer to it as being financially independent. So once you can support yourself and you know all these facts that you're going to make it through retirement, you're financially independent and you're retirement ready. So because retirement looks different for everybody, Brian, but I get at least probably 1, maybe 2 calls a week, client or a prospective client, and says, am I going to be okay? And I give them the truth.
Yeah, I have many appointments recently about this idea of going ahead and retiring as soon as they can. People are talking about retiring a little bit earlier, and what we're trying to do is explain to them what it takes to retire early. Now, today's show is going to break down through our 4 quarters of the show exactly what we do when we talk about someone, are you ready to retire? We're going to talk about things you need to think about, things you need to do, and to make sure your financial advisor is guiding you in this right direction. We all start with that cash flow, that budget. That is something that none of us enjoy doing, but is extremely important when we start with your retirement plan and to decide if you truly are retirement ready. Right, Alex?
Absolutely, Brian. And you've always preached that retirement is a game of cash flows, and it really is. Because when you stop working, you need to know you're going to have your monthly income or that check coming in. And if you don't know what you need every month, it's super hard to retire.
Yes, the people with great financial habits seem to be able to retire without much worry or stress. It's those that are finding it hard to meet ends meet each week while they're working, to try to pay bills, to stay out of debt, having a negative cash flow. Those struggle so greatly that it's really hard to retire until they are able to change the way they handle their money. So becoming financially stable, what does that mean to you, Alex?
It starts with having that emergency fund and then knowing where all your money is. And then from there, coming up with a plan if you have any debt to get out of that debt. But the big thing, like we just said, Brian, is knowing your numbers. And the smaller that number is, the easier it's going to be to retire. Because inflation is a real thing. So the larger number you start out with, it's just going to get bigger from there. So the big mistake that I see a lot is people want to retire early and they don't understand the impact of those large withdrawals early on in retirement. It can really do some damage, and that's why we like to sit down with people and say, hey, what are your numbers? Let me see your financial fingerprint. are you retirement ready?
Absolutely. So when we ask you that question, are you retirement ready? Now, depending on your age, you might say, hey, mentally, I'm ready. I'm ready to retire tomorrow. But the reality is your money ready? That takes a process of going through where you are now. We call that your financial fingerprint. That's where we talk about where exactly you are. And what we mean by that is your assets, your balance sheet. What is the things you own and the things you owe? When it comes to your retirement plans, what are you doing there? What are your saving capabilities, and what have you been able to accumulate throughout your lifetime? It is all based on lifestyle. But this concept of financial fingerprint is a beginning point for that financial plan. Now, Alex, when you take that financial fingerprint, what do you do next after that?
So from there, I gather all the information and I put it all together. So essentially they show up during this fingerprint and they bring all these puzzle pieces. Some of these pieces they've had since they were 20. Some of them they just got 5 years ago. Some of them they just bought that morning. And some they didn't even know they had a lot of times, which is always fun to find extra money. So from there, I put those puzzle pieces together and then I have them back and I sit down and I say, okay, this is you guys today as you sit right in front of me. And we go from there. We go through the facts. We make sure what they say is the truth or, it's what's actually happening. And then we go through the different scenarios and we can see, okay, what does 1 year early do for my cash flow? What is 2 years early? What is working 3 extra years? And just kind of shotgun, is that a quarterback thing, Brian? Shotgunning? Yeah. I guess shotgun their retirement.
Absolutely. It just means a quick play release. You'd be able to keep moving quickly. That's the way I see it. All right, so when people are giving us the numbers, then it comes down to talking about your goals. Now, what kind of goals have you seen with people that want to retire?
I have clients that want to move to Florida. I have some that are building houses in Delaware right now. I have some that don't know what to do, and those are the tough ones because the money, like, how do you figure out what to do with the money if you don't know what it's supposed to do or what the end purpose is? So it's always kind of start with the goal, then figure out the plan, not the other way around.
Over the last couple of years, one of the biggest things that I've seen are people wanting to go with the RV lifestyle, where they have campers or a RV that you can drive, like a Class A or Class C, something like that, where the concept would be that they sell what they own and then they get in a vehicle and sort of drive away for about the next couple of years. So when it comes down to it, in financial planning, are you retirement ready? Part of it is, what are your goals? What are you going to do when you retire? What is your purpose? With that purpose in mind, you can then figure out what is the right financial plan for you. The financial plan, the financial advising, the investments, how you take your money out, is all those things that we have to put together to make this money last a lifetime. So when we talk about what are your goals? What are your goals? No matter what age, set these goals so that you can have a purpose for why you're saving. We need to save money from the very first day we start working so that when we get closer to retirement and we say, are you retirement ready? We say, you sure are. Let's go. Now, I guess Monday this week, I had a client come in, or a new client, first meeting, and he came in. We started talking about their finances, and we went through the process. And the key thing in that first meeting was trying to figure out, are they okay financially on the day-to-day basis? And what I found was great savers. They were able to save and live within their means. And then this retirement ready all came down to maximizing all the benefits that they have at work. You know, things like pensions and vacation pay and sick leave, and organizing their lifestyle so they can plan an exit that'll work very well in their exact situation. So it's nice in a first appointment to be able to gather information like that and to say to them, it sure looks good, like retirement is very doable in the next 12 months. We just got to figure out what is the best day. So that was a pretty good appointment for that client.
So I had the complete opposite scenario on Wednesday with the first appointment. And
okay.
It was tough because I could tell that they were, almost a little gun shy on telling me where everything was. But at the end of the meeting, you could see this relief, like, okay, we know that we need to start planning for our future. And once you put that goal, that retirement goal, or that RV goal, or the 2 small house goal, whatever your goals are, once you put your money towards that purpose, you start to want to save, because you're saving for something for yourself, for your family. And it should be something good. Should be something fun. Also, you have to live, but we want your people to be winning in retirement. That's the whole goal. And a lot of times winning is fun.
Winning should be the only way to retire. And winning is where you know there's enough money to cover the bills and to cover the bills in the future. So one of the issues of are you retirement ready is you might be retirement ready for this year's bills. But if you look at inflation to the future, can your plan handle that 12 years from now? Because the earlier we retire, truly the longer we will be retired. So someone in their early 60s could be retired 20 to 30 years. Will your money last as long as you do? So making this money last a lifetime is extremely important in picking that retirement day. So today's show, we're starting out with a real simple part is this. How are your finances right now? How is your budget? How is your cash flow? How is your taxes? Do you know where your money is? Have you organized yourself? That's what financial planning and financial advising does for you. It truly takes you right exactly where you are right now.
It was really cool, Brian. This week I had a client that I met from the radio doubled their money since I've known them in about 1.5 years. And they've been saving and getting rid of debt. And it was just such a cool thing to see.
Right, because basically net worth can double by paying off debt, by saving, and then having your investments grow. A great combination like that can truly get someone to a point just like that. Because what we want at Akers Financial Group is for your retirement to have really no true worries when it comes to where that money's coming from. We want your biggest worry of the day to be where you're going to drink that morning cup of coffee or tea if you're a teetotaler. Every day should seem like a Saturday, free of stress. Your retirement income and investments are taken care of by Akers Financial Group. And the team of advisors here at Akers Financial Group want to offer you that free initial consultation where you sit down with one of us and go over where you are now. Give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WINRETIRE. When you call, leave us a voice message, and Susan will call you back on Monday to schedule a phone call, virtual Zoom, or an in-person meeting with one of our team of advisors. Start planning for your retirement now. Call 833-946-7384 or go to our website at akersfinancialgroup.com. Where will your income come from in retirement? You will find out in the second quarter.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers. Here with me today is Alex Monk, Certified Financial Planner Practitioner. We are both Certified Financial Planner Practitioners at Akers Financial Group right here in Maryland. Right here in the Oriole State, or I guess Alex would call it the Blue Crab State, right? We work with people in other states, of course, but our home and our offices are here in Maryland. Alex, do you call it the Blue Crab State or the Maryland State, Terp State? What do you call it?
That's my favorite part about Maryland is that depending on the season, we're good at different things. It's crab cakes, football, the bay. I mean, we got it all. Sunflowers.
That's true. In 3 hours, you can be in the mountains or in the ocean, all kinds. That's a good thing about Maryland. And you do get seasons, which not every state can say that. This show today is this. Are you retirement ready? So each segment of the show, we're going through the ideas of things you need to think about to see if you are retirement ready. Because if as the market has gone to all-time highs, we look at the asset base and you say, well, am I good? Is this enough? And the idea is this. Let's find out. are you retirement ready? So you can give us a call, come in and sit down with one of our team of advisors and go over, is it enough for you? Are you retirement ready? It's exactly what our team of advisors are set up to do. Just give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-946-7384 to sit down with one of our team of advisors. Now, this quarter, Alex, I got a good question for you. Where will your income come from in retirement?
Hopefully my kids at that point, but...
Oh. Well, we're trying to talk about clients right now, but so the Alex Monk plan is to live off his kids. That sounds fun.
No,
but in reality, it seems like if you're not saving now, there will not be anything to retire on because pensions are a thing of the past.
Yeah, and people that think that retirement at age 62 is a given are usually the ones that are sorely disappointed when they realize they don't have enough money. Social Security is not going to replace enough of your income after taxes, after health care, property taxes. I mean, water, for crying out loud. Water's expensive these days. Things are costing money, so we gotta have savings. We gotta have different buckets of savings, and we gotta have goals for it so that we can handle whatever life throws at us, and then spend some more money to have a little fun.
Exactly right. You have to, of course, in the first quarter of the show, we talked about cash flow and budget and knowing where your money is, living within your means, having zero debt if possible, things like that. But this section is about income. That's drawing money out of the investments you have and knowing what you can do and when you can do it. Now, let's do some just simple things. I want to ask you some quick questions, Alex, and you just tell us your thoughts on it.
All right.
I love doing this to you.
Is this open book?
Social Security, the earliest age we can draw Social Security.
That's a trick question. The earliest age would be 60 if you're a widow, but typically it's going to be 62.
And most Americans, 70-some%, choose 62, but we don't usually recommend that unless they're fully retired.
Yeah.
All right, Alex, question. Go ahead.
So 62, if you're taking it at 62, both spouses, that's usually a mistake. I like to spread it out, but go on. Next question.
All right. So what is so important about the age of 59 and a half?
Oh, so 59 and a half is when you become eligible to take withdrawals from your retirement accounts without a penalty. That's a great age.
Yeah, it's a great age where if you keep working, you can take withdrawals called in-service withdrawals. If you are retired, you can then start drawing money out of retirement accounts. Now, there are exceptions to every rule, and of course, there are ways to take money out of those retirements a little bit earlier, but you got to be very careful how you do it with age 55 rules and 72T and all kinds of other rules that are out there. Now, Alex, you worked with some government employees, and many of them, when they get their 30 years, then they can look to retire. Have you seen that the ability for them to retire before 62?
I had one retire about 2 months ago at the age of 59 and 7 months.
Wow. That's pretty good. Now, I work with a number of police officers, and I've had a couple of police officers retire at 49 years old to then go to another career and save additional money to then ultimately retire in their 60s. Some of the hardest parts of retirement is knowing where the income is going to come from, and that's why when you think about retiring early in our reference will be before a full retirement age. So full retirement age is generally 67 now for everyone born after 1960. If you're born before 1960, there is a chart where it phases in from 66 to 67 over a number of years. All right, so if somebody's retiring early and you're looking at income, we do not want to pay a penalty. What is this penalty that we're talking about, Alex?
So that's well, it depends, but we're talking pretty much about that 10% early withdrawal penalty on retirement funds or like deferred annuity contracts, things like that.
Yeah, so it's almost like you take $50,000 out, you owe regular taxes, federal and state, and then you got to pay 10% more to federal. Now, we've had people come in to meet with us after they've already made some financial mistakes. One of them is, I want to pay off my mortgage, and they're a younger person, and what they do is they cash out a retirement account, pay 40-some% in taxes, and then pay down their mortgage. And that's just something that we wouldn't recommend to do when it comes to hitting your retirement account that hard.
Yeah, the math on that one does not work out, especially with interest rates being so low right now. So you gotta know how to get to your goal the right way, because there's so many different paths to go to one place, but only a few of them are going to be right, and then you got to figure out which one's right for you.
All right, so this segment is about where will your income come from? Easy for me to say. So the income is basically figuring out what you need, and then you got to start taking it out. So I had a client yesterday, we were talking about where we're going to draw the income from, and I went through the plan that we had put together because they've been a client for a number of years. Because of being a client for a number of years, we had things ready just to turn on when they said, here's my retirement date. So that was nice. Now, generally, Alex, when you see a new client coming in and you're trying to explain where income will come from, where do you sort of start?
So I start with like guaranteed or fixed income sources, so pensions, Social Security, and we look at that and we see, okay, well, what do we have coming in, and what do we have as our shortfall or our surplus to budget? And a lot of times, if someone's retiring early, they're not going to be taking Social Security. So those are like gap years or bridge years where you have to take additional income in order to replace what you're technically missing out on because of your age. You're too young. Those are fun years to do some tax planning. If we get together early enough, we can already have cash ready so that we can do Roth conversions and, lower the taxation over a lifetime greatly. But I like to start with, okay, what's going to come in and when is it? And then what are our gaps? How much do we need to fill those gaps? And then I watch the taxation. And from there, we kind of see where it goes.
Yeah, the taxation is a big key. So if we've saved pre-tax or have matching, that money is fully taxable in our retirement years as we draw based on how much money we take out in those years. So knowing your tax rate, your tax bracket are very key points that you need to know as you draw out income. So an IRA pre-tax would be fully taxable. What if someone just owned a stock that had a dividend? What kind of taxation do they have on stocks?
So the stocks are taxed at what you paid subtracted from what you sell it for. So that's going to be a capital gain. So only the money that you make is taxed at capital gains rate, which is 0 if you're in the 12% bracket, 15 in the next bracket, all the way up to like 400,000, and then 20 on top of that. And the dividends are also taxed at that same rate. So owning stocks in your non-qualified or non-retirement account can be a good thing for your tax planning.
Exactly right. So like if you have stocks that pay dividends, instead of reinvesting, one of the easy things to do for income is to have the dividend come to you. And that quarterly dividend you're already paying tax on it, so why not use that money as one of the first steps in your retirement planning? This could be interest off of CDs if they still pay it. It could be dividends from stocks. It could be anything that's earning a cash flow that you can turn on. And I think that's a great way to start when it comes to where does income come from. Now, there's certain ages, such as 72, where you're going to have to take money out, need it or not. And that'll be out of retirement accounts. Under the Secure Act of 2020, what happened is they changed the required minimum distribution date to 72. Now, you can touch your IRA before, and most people do when they fully retire. But if you wait to 72, you then have to take money out, and that's money that you can use, but you got to pay tax on it. So when we're talking about retirement income planning, Alex, and there's sort of a bunch of different buckets, I think the thing that we love is to have a bunch of different buckets, a lot of choices, rather than someone that's a retirement poor where everything's in a pre-tax retirement account.
If you don't have choices, you're not in a good position at all. I love having different types of taxed money so that I can do tax planning and we can play with the tax law to our advantage because we have the flexibility of picking what type of account we're drawing from.
Exactly right. The choice of where to take it from is what we cover in our annual reviews with clients. We go over investment portfolio, the changes, how to address the risk tolerance that's going on, and when to take money. Now, one of the things about a market being up, it's a great time for you to sort of fill up your money market bucket, your bucket that you're going to draw your money from by actually selling when the market's high and filling up that emergency fund, filling up that income bucket so you have a good year of income set aside so you're not trying to sell stocks or your risk investments when the market might go down. Making sure you do all this is extremely important in your planning to make sure that you're retirement ready and how to make sure you stay in retirement. Now, Akers Financial Group, we're local, we're independent. We don't report to a big company on Wall Street. We report to you. We do have offices in Forest Hill and Lutherville, Maryland. This is all about you, not really about us. But to begin winning in retirement, give us a call at Akers Financial Group, and you'll be able to meet with one of our team of advisors and schedule that free meeting. Give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, leave us a voice message, and Susan will call you back on Monday to schedule an in-person meeting, virtual Zoom with one of our team of advisors. Start planning for your retirement now. 833-946-7384 or visit AkersFinancialGroup.com. How much can you afford to lose in your retirement years? We'll talk about that in the second half.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Our announcer friend Jerry just welcomed you back, but we're going to welcome you back too. Hey, welcome back to Winning in Retirement. This is the second half, and I'm Brian Akers. Here with me today is Alex Monk. We're both certified financial planner practitioners from Akers Financial Group. What that means is that we are financial advisors, here to advise you on your retirement. This is done in a personal meeting, not over the radio. We just give general advice on the radio and try to point you in the right direction. When you work with us, it's all about your retirement. It's about not trying to sell you something, but really truly trying to figure out the best advice so that we can help you reach the best retirement and actually win during your retirement years. We're located right here in Maryland, right here in the Blue Crab State, but we work with people all over the world. So, Alex, this show, Winning in Retirement, we are really trying our best to help people think about those things that will make them win. I know we apply these to our personal lives and our families' lives and everything else. If you had like a piece of advice to give about winning in retirement, I know the show's about retirement ready, but any sage advice from Alex Monk about winning in retirement?
I always tell people family first. I get a lot of people that say, "Oh, where should I live? Where's the best place to retire? Where should I do this? Where should I do that?" Well, we had this conversation the other day, Brian. How many clients move to Florida and their kids never go down?
Yep.
So I always say, if you got to pay a little bit more in taxes and you get to see your family more, it seems like a good deal to me.
Yeah, so winning in retirement is more than about money. The money gives you that security. You don't have to worry about the bills, but the choice, the time, being able to use that time for the things that matter most. That truly is winning in retirement. Now, knowing if you're retirement ready is what our show's about today. And what we're going to talk about now is probably not your favorite topic, but it goes like this. How much can you afford to lose in your retirement years? When you hear this question, Alex, what thoughts come to your mind?
I just think that the stock market's been going up for so long now that it can't possibly go down at all in the near to long-term future. I mean, how could it do that?
Is that sarcasm I hear or smell?
That doesn't translate?
No, but that's what people think is that, all right, I've made 15% a year for the last 5 years. I project that out. I'm fine financially. I can retire at 38, And the reality is markets return to their averages, to their means. Don't get caught up in thinking that when the market rises like this, that you became the greatest stock manager ever because you had a couple good stock runs.
Yeah, and if there's inflation happening, just realize that your returns need to be adjusted for inflation because your purchasing power is going down. But if you were listening in the first half, we went over cash flow. And when I try to figure out risk tolerance for people, we got to figure out what their monthly need is or their annual need. And then we see, okay, how long can we go during a market correction and not have to sell our risky assets? That is how I determine how much you can lose. It's not necessarily about losing money, it's about having the ability to wait it out. And I think that's so important.
Right. So the idea of risk, how would you define risk when someone says, I'm retirement ready, I want to retire later this year, and they have all of their money in certain investments? How would you define risk?
So there's so many different types of risk. Risk is just the chance of other things happening, right? So if you have a bunch of money in the same assets, it doesn't really matter what they are. That's risky in itself. So risk, I think, is about comfort level for people, what they can handle, because a lot of investing is psychological. If you can't handle the swings, then that's too risky. If you don't understand what's happening, that's too risky. So it's not necessarily about, I don't know, it's such a tough word. Let's just say it's a board game and I don't know how to play it.
Yeah, I guess if I had to make it real simple, risk, that is losing money. So if you have made money in your investments, let's say you had a great year in the stock market, and you're saying, well, am I properly balanced, or do I have everything at risk? If you're close to retirement, we highly advise you to reevaluate your portfolio allocation. How much is in risk? How much is not in risk? So understanding that you can lose that money, and it can happen. We don't know when. We just know that the stock market downturns happen very quickly. It's very hard to get out. These swings can swing up just as fast as they swing down, but generally the swinging down is even faster. So what happens is this. When we evaluate where people are and if they're retirement ready, we do take a look at the assets that they've built. Are they diversified, or are they over-concentrated in one area or not? This could be in your company stock where you work. It could be in a stock that you fell in love with. It could be something that you like trading, where all of a sudden you put all of your money in it because it was working so well. That sounds like a way to make a lot of money. Usually it's a way to lose money. What we recommend that you do is this. If you want to be retirement ready, you need to sit down with an advisor, go over where you are now, and understand that there will be some changes that have to be made to be able to retire and stay retired and not have to go back to work. That's one of the reasons that you want to lower your risk as you enter the retirement years.
You know, and the other thing about retirement, Brian, is the logistics. It's something that we do, 3 times a week, 4 times a week each for other people. So to us, it's second nature. But when I have clients that are retiring, it's typically their first time. And they are not in the business of retirement planning, so they don't know much about it. They know the business that they were in. So knowing the logistics, how to flow your money, how to have it, come into your account as regular payments and gather from different sources and trying to simplify things, that's one of my favorite parts because it's like a puzzle, and I get to show people kind of how it works, how it flows, and then let their life dictate what the money's going to do.
Exactly right. So Generally what we do is we start out with where they are. We look at the investments they have. We try to maximize the income from the current investments they have. If they need to make changes, we look at the portfolios, and we do design portfolios that are geared towards a lower risk overall. Some concepts are called smart beta. Some are just generally lower risk through diversification. But what we're trying to accomplish for the client is where when things go wrong, their money is still there to provide for them. Now, that typically means if you take low risk, you don't participate as much on the way up. So there is a give and take. The ideas that we want people to think about is this: how much can you afford to lose to be able to stay retired? A lot of people, when they retire, they look at their portfolio and they start pulling some money out, and they go, I'm going to take a 6% withdrawal off of this. It'll make 11, 12% a year, so I'm fine there. And we start sounding a horn saying, oh, that assumption is just wrong from the beginning. So knowing how much you can afford to lose and what risk you're taking will basically change your mindset on that concept of make 11 or 12 and pull out 6 a year.
Absolutely. So if you are retiring early and you're taking a big withdrawal out in this first couple of years and the market goes down, that's horrible. I mean, it's like catching your hair on fire. It's going to smell, it's going to hurt, it's going to be terrible. And that's what we really want to make sure people are able to avoid, is if we're going to go into retirement early, we know that that's more risk. So we need to know where our money's coming from. We need to use proper assumptions, because a lot of people out there right now, Brian, are feeling pretty rich with the market being around all-time highs. But the numbers have been high.
Yeah, I was talking to one client a few days ago, and they had saved $2.2 million, but they need like $130,000 before taxes, because they have to take money out, pay the tax, and then get the net that they want. And that's over 5-6% withdrawal rate, a little over 6% withdrawal rate. And I try to give them caution on what they're spending. It's like, do they really need to have that much money, or is there a way to cut it by $500 or $750 a month to be able to get that money more in alignment with the markets and what's going on?
Especially in those early years, the first couple of years are very important. And you don't want to take a big tax hit. So, you need to know how to withdraw the money, how to split it between tax years, what games can you play. But also, you don't want to get yourself in trouble. You don't want to take money out and not withhold taxes, and then that's a slippery slope. Another conversation I had was about taxes and about this final year of working, and how they don't want to take out extra money this year, because that income goes on top of all the money they've already made. And if they get like a lump sum, a bonus at the end of their sick leave or vacation pay or whatever their situation is, all of a sudden they're kicking into the next bracket by taking another withdrawal. And so it's a combination of planning out the next 3 years as you get ready to retire. The year you're in, the year that you retire, the first year of retirement, and then a year after that, trying to plan out where your tax brackets will be and balance things out to reach all of your goals with the most efficient tax plan. And that way your head doesn't explode when you get your Medicare premium notice that's gone through the roof, or something that can happen when you don't watch your income.
Exactly right. If you make too much money, boom, you owe extra taxes, but then there's a Medicare premium sitting out there. Typically, if you're married filing jointly and make over $170,000, your Medicare premium will go up and stay up until your income drops back down. So understanding that, so you're not surprised by $800 extra a month Medicare premium because you made a large withdrawal. So all of this does come together to sort of form this perfect retirement. But understanding what you can afford to lose in taxes, afford to lose in risk, is extremely important. Because when you're retired, we want you to have the best thing, and that is getting your time back, where you decide how to use your time. Because before retirement, your time is tied up with other commitments, mainly your job. A lot of that goes away when you retire. Your time is now consumed by things that you want to do. To begin winning in retirement, go ahead and give us a call at 833-WINRETIRE, 833-946-7384, or you can give us a call at 833-WINRETIRE. When you call, just leave us a voice message, and Susan will call you back on Monday to schedule that free time with one of our team of advisors. Quick decisions have long consequences. We'll talk about this in the fourth and final quarter of Winning in Retirement.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers. Here with me today is Alex Monk. We're both certified financial planner practitioners from Akers Financial Group. And welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Our offices are located right here in Maryland. Some call it the Black-Eyed Susan State, but we work with people throughout the United States and around the world. Today's show has been, are you retirement ready? So ask that question. Are you retirement ready? Wouldn't you like to know? You can give us a call at Akers Financial Group, and one of our team of advisors will sit down with you and begin that conversation. Now, Akers Financial Group, we love being the financial advisor for our clients, where we are the person they come and talk to, and we work together throughout your pre-retirement and all throughout your retirement years. The information on the show that we've had today is also on our website at akersfinancialgroup.com. That website has a radio tab. Underneath there is all the shows that we've had, including this show. Go ahead there and find out more information. Now, this segment here, the fourth quarter, is this question, Alex, and it comes like this. Quick decisions have long consequences. What kind of examples can you think about when you think of that?
So I know this one's going to register with you, Brian, but I remember a client calling after their spouse had taken a single life disability retirement election. And it was probably, 17 days after it happened. She called and said, "Did we do the right thing?" And we said, no, not at all. And it was just not a good thing. So those decisions, some of them can't be changed. There's no go-backs, no mulligans, no whoops-a-daisies. And a lot of times pension elections are irrevocable, and those are ones you want to take your time on, or at least have some guidance.
Yeah, I guess some might call this knee-jerk decisions, things where you think it's right, so you just go for it, and then you call the financial advisor up. Hey, I went ahead and paid my mortgage off. I just cashed out my IRA. And then you have that conversation with them. You say, well, you're 52 years old. Do you know how much taxes you're going to owe? Oh, they said they only are going to withhold 20%. And we say, well, that's not enough. You got to check for the rest. So, I mean, there are a lot of knee-jerk decisions that are made by people without running it by a financial advisor. A financial advisor is there to think about your best interests and to think about what you're paying and what your future, and bringing all those aspects together to give you the right advice for that exact moment. And we have many calls like this, Alex, that we guide them into the right decision, right?
You know, another one that really comes to mind, Brian, is when the market is doing something other than going up. You know, so let's say it's going down, people are starting to panic. So if you weren't allocated before, now you're really starting to notice it when things go down. And the worst decision that you can make is to sell out in most cases. Because what you do is you lock in that loss.
Yeah, that's very true. When we're thinking about our show today, that are you retirement ready? And we think about what people do to get retirement ready that are a little questionable. Sometimes people will want to move so badly that they'll go ahead and sell their house without the next one purchased, and they really haven't thought through where they're going to live. We've had some new clients who will call and say, yeah, I sold my house. I'm going to live with my kids for a little bit while we decide where to go. And I'm like, wow, how's that going?
Now that sounds like something the kids should be doing, not the parents.
Well, many kids do that, and that's tough on a lot of parents. These type of decisions that have long-term consequences. One is especially involving the kids, where you try to help them almost to where you don't help them. If you help them too much, what ends up happening is there's not enough money left for you, and there's also where they haven't learned how to handle money on their own because you might be their bank at all times. And what you got to do is watch out and balance yourself to make sure you're doing the right thing for your whole family. We truly believe that when somebody walks in for a retirement plan, we got to make sure their retirement's okay first before they start a gifting plan and designing an estate plan and spreading that money out when we don't know if they even have extra to do that.
Yeah, and really the best thing that you can give your kids is the ability to earn and save on their own if they can. Because, that is really the valuable thing. We've seen so many people that just, I don't know, it's a tough situation because it's family, and sometimes it's not about the money, but at other times it really is, because if you are doing the wrong thing, everybody in the scenario could fail, and that is a tough thing to see.
Yeah, I was thinking about one of the newer clients over the last few months, and they came in saying, I've got it all figured out. This is how we're going to retire. I just want to run these numbers by you. And after hearing the story, I had to say, well, do you really want to hear our opinion? Because you're not going to like it. And it was a little tough, but they said, go ahead. And so we started going through their assumptions versus what we try to assume. And the first thing that we wanted them to do was to pay off all of the credit cards, all the debts they had, where and even in one case, this guy had a mortgage and had PMI insurance, which is extra money they pay to your mortgage for not having enough equity. And he wasn't adding extra to the mortgage, but he was really close to being able to make that PMI disappear. But it seemed like they were just blowing their budget now. And I had to start with a concept of, are you serious about retiring? Because your numbers, your finances don't look like it. If you truly are getting ready to retire, pay off all your debt. Make sure you have no bills entering retirement. It makes retirement so much easier. But in this case, we sort of said, you got to fix your budget. You got to find the money and figure out how you're going to get rid of this debt this year. If you want to retire in the next 3, you really, truly got to get this figured out. And we want them to pay the PMI, actually pay the mortgage down so that they can get rid of the PMI, because that would save them a lot of money every month. So that was sort of a frustrating, tough first meeting. But after 3 meetings, it seems to be working pretty well. But it was a tough first meeting.
Debt it's not like the water filter reset button on your fridge. You can't just keep pushing it under the rug. It gets bigger and it grows when you don't address it, and it's a slippery slope, and you gotta get rid of it. There's ways to do it, there's ways to structure it,
right?
But knowing where your debt is and knowing what you need, that's the first step.
When things are going good, get yourself out of debt. When you have to use debt to keep going, it's nice if you didn't have the debt already full. In a situation where the stock market's high and a lot of people might have extra cash because of stimulus checks, things like that, pay off debts. Get yourself in a great financial situation. I believe retirement is a cash flow battle. So in their show today, Are You Retirement Ready?, it all started with a cash flow battle, making sure you know where your money is. Become frugal with your money. Know where your money's going so you can live within your means now. Make sure you know where your retirement income is going to come from so you have that plan on how you're going to take that money out over your lifetime. And of course, address the risks that you're taking with your portfolio and evaluate your asset allocation and diversification. All of this helps you become retirement ready. Alex, what are your thoughts on making people understand how to be retirement ready?
It's really about setting expectations and coaching on where's this money coming from. I love being that resource for clients. And no matter what's going on, they're like, hey, Alex, what should I do here? And I always tell them, there's no stupid question, because you may not know what the implications of whatever you think is not a big deal. I'd rather you ask me a question that's very easy to answer than make a decision that we can't fix. And being that coach, that resource is a big deal for me. I really enjoy it, and my clients seem to be winning, so It's a win-win, right?
Yeah, it is. It is a process. Enjoying being the financial advisor for a client and their family is a very rewarding job where you're able to do that coaching and that advising. That really is something that I enjoy, where you're able to actually help with the full plan, the full advice. That is truly the niche where we try to be at Akers Financial Group. So when you're thinking about, are you retirement ready, and you want to know, what you do by giving us a call is you're going to sit down and have a free meeting with one of our team of advisors. And what they do is talk about your situation, where you are, and what you want to accomplish, and what your goals are. And then we start a process of figuring out what is the right thing to do. What is the right thing to do with your investments? What is the decisions on your health care and life insurance and long-term care? There's so many decisions that come into getting ready to retire. We just want you to be truly ready so that you can say, yeah, I'm ready to retire. I've been ready. I'm just going to pick my date. I gotta love that, right, Alex?
And getting somebody else to put a little wax seal of approval on what you think or what you've been convincing your wife of that's true, it's a big deal.
It's very true. I was just thinking about a few conversations over the last few months. There's conversations where the guy is trying to convince his wife in the meeting that he's got it figured out, and then you feel bad sort of punching holes into some of the planning, making sure they understand all the worst case scenarios. But truly in financial planning, you got to plan for the worst case scenarios, because the best scenarios will always work out perfectly, but the worst case scenarios are those things that will throw you off rail, will throw you where it won't work. And we want this winning in retirement to be your lifestyle and the way you work out with your finances. Any final thoughts, Alex?
Got to start where you got to know your numbers.
Got to know your numbers. So today's show has been about, are you retirement ready? Are you? Well, what you can do is give us a call at Akers Financial Group to talk about your exact situation, because we want you to win in your retirement. To take advantage of this and begin planning with us, so go ahead and give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, leave us a voice message, and Susan will call you back on Monday to schedule like a phone meeting, a virtual Zoom, or an in-person meeting with one of our team of advisors. Start planning for your retirement now by calling 833-946-7384, or go ahead to our webpage at akersfinancialgroup.com. Thank you for listening. I'm Brian Akers from Akers Financial Group, and we want you to be winning in retirement.
You've been listening to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers of Akers Financial Group. Brian Akers of Akers Financial Group is a registered representative offering securities through Kalos Capital Incorporated and investment advisory services through Kalos Management Incorporated. Akers Financial Group is not an affiliate or subsidiary of Kalos Capital or Kalos Management and does not provide tax and legal services. Advice given on winning in retirement is general in nature, and one should seek further advice from their financial advisor, broker, attorney, or tax accountant before investing. Be sure to read each prospectus carefully to understand all the risks associated with each investment.